Thank you for being here. Today, at around 3:15 this afternoon, our officers received a 911 call, multiple 911 calls from St. Luke's the Evangelist, located in the 1100 block in Northwest Weigel Drive here in Ankeny. St. Luke's the Evangelist, just for some context, is both a Catholic church and it's also a school. So they're a school district there that has K through 8 students at it. We received a call, like I said, at 3:15, and we received dispatch information that approximately 7 to 9 individuals had been struck as part of a personal injury accident. Details that we have from the scene primarily is that the vehicle that was in a car line basically went up and over the curb where the students were waiting to be picked up and struck about 7 to 9 individuals was what we were originally told prior to us arriving on scene. So obviously our officers and as well as fire and EMS responded emergently. Upon our arrival, within minutes, we began providing care to those affected by the accident. I just want to say too, from our officers on scene, a lot of help was being given by parents that were in that car line. A lot of parents stepped up and were helping stabilize injuries and care for those who'd been affected by the car accident. And that was really important and very, very helpful for law enforcement as we try to take note of what had happened on scene. With the care, we immediately began getting ambulances lined up. My fire department counterpart here can talk about that here in a minute, and began transporting individuals that need to go to the hospital. Right now, in total, we have had 9 students from St. Luke's that were transported to local area hospitals. Their conditions, I don't have definitive conditions on them. There were a couple serious injuries. However, I can't give updates right now. That's still being worked on with medical staff and that sort of. This is pretty fresh still, obviously. We will provide those updates as we're able to. In addition, the driver of the vehicle remained on scene. Like I said, at this time, we do not think that this was an intentional act. We think that this was just a very unfortunate and tragic incident. And we are working through right now an investigation as to how that collision occurred. More details, if they're able to be released, will be released at a later time. But again, with this type of accident, we're going to cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's and make sure that we have 100% accountability for what happened. There were a lot of witnesses on scene as well, and we're working through that as well. Another big help to this incident was the school district itself. School staff, principals, teachers were out there assisting students, both caring for the injured. They were also tending to the little ones who saw what happened and were obviously impacted emotionally by that. School did a great job of communicating. They have communicated with parents of the school district via email. So parents of the school district, you should have an email from St. Luke's telling you kind of what's going on, what happened. And then I do know that they, like I said, they were very quick to identify and tell us who the parents were of the affected children. And I can again tell you all 9 of the children that have transported, their parents have been notified of their injuries.
Given the time of the accident, you said around 3:15, is that about the time that students were being released from school? Were there a lot of students present?
Yep, so there were a lot of students present. That's the car pickup line. So there were a lot of students out at that time, and yes, parents coming through picking up kids.
Sorry, do you have an age range and makeup, boys, girls, who picked them?
I can tell you they're all students, so they'd be within that younger age range of elementary school up to 8th grade. I don't have specifics on each individual patient at this time.
Was the driver hurt at all?
The driver, as far as I know, was uninjured, but again, they remained on scene. They are cooperating with the investigation.
Okay.
Is there any possibility of intoxication or any other issue that might have led to the accident?
At this time, we're still investigating. I don't want to say anything prematurely. Obviously, that's going to be something as part of this type of investigation we are going to fully vet and make sure that was not a factor.
How many different hospitals were utilized, do you know?
I'm going to refer to my...
Yeah, so 2 hospitals were utilized. They are split between Blank Children's Hospital and Mercy Hospital. And then I can tell you, the Ankeny Fire Department transported 3 individuals. Johnson Grimes Fire District transported 3 individuals. The Polk City Fire Department transported 2. And then Sailor Township transported 1 of various injuries.
Were students the only ones that were injured, or were there adults that were injured as well?
The only 9 individuals that we transported were all juveniles of the school district. So, all right. I'd like to finish up with saying, obviously, there was a lot of people impacted by today's incident. We just ask that people think of the parishioners and the school students and their parents as they deal with this. It's a very tragic event, not something you ever want to hear on the radio come out as a law enforcement officer. But again, with the help from the community and the help from the school, this incident was handled very rapidly, and we were able to care for everybody that was injured and get them in a pretty timely manner to hospitals. So that's super important. And just, again, appreciate all the help that we had as law enforcement and as EMS on scene.
Just to clarify, the extent of the worst injuries were serious as far as you know?
I don't have an official condition, but I do know that some were more serious than others. That I guess refer to you on injuries.
Yeah, so obviously they were transported to the hospital. I don't have initial injuries for you. We'll put some more information out as we get information back from the hospital. So I can't, right now I'm going to list them probably as serious, but I can't give you current conditions until we get some notifications from the hospital.
Sure. As far as the driver goes, was it a parent, grandparent, male, female?
That's not information that I have at this time. Obviously, as the investigation allows, we'll provide further updates on that.
Have you heard anything about the school potentially closing tomorrow or opening late or anything like that?
I have not. Obviously, if the school does make that decision, they will likely notify parents through the same email that they've been communicating with their parents too. So that'll be up to the school. I'll defer to them with any questions as far as whether or not school is going to be held tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Is law enforcement still on scene? Are you still working on clearing the accident, or is it pretty clear for parents to pick up their kids?
Yeah, so parents, that's a great question. Parents, there are still some students on site that are part of an after-school care program. Those students are safe. Parents who need to pick up their students, they can use the south entrance of the school. They're going to be probably about the only ones allowed on site right now just to pick up their kids. You're going to see law enforcement out there investigating the accident scene for some time. It takes a while for these types of investigations just to catalog where everything's at and that sort of thing and make measurements, typical stuff that we do with these type of investigations.
Was the driver an employee of the school?
That I don't have information on right now. So again, I don't know the identity of the driver or their relation to anyone at that school. So, but again, what I can tell you is preliminarily, we don't believe this was an intentional act.
Is there an idea at the moment about how long this investigation operation will be going on, or the closure, or the immediate closure of the drive?
That's a great question. Could be within the next couple hours. That could be wrapped up. It just depends on how quickly our team's able to collect evidence out there and complete the investigation. So we want to make sure we get it right. So they're going to be thorough. So if that takes a little extra time, it takes a little extra time.
Was the driver arrested? Are they cooperating with law enforcement?
To my knowledge, no arrests have been made right now. Again, that driver is cooperating with law enforcement. So we will conduct the investigation, and then if charges stem from that, we'll release that at a later time.
Is the driver being questioned at the scene or back at the department?
That I don't know right now. Anything else?
Should we expect additional information to come out tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll probably, between the city and the school, additional information will likely follow. I don't have a timeline for that right now, but obviously probably give us 24 hours so we can kind of get settled what injuries were and everything like that and get you guys some accurate information.